your eyes, please, for the pledge. After Trustee Hobbs leads us in the pledge, would you kindly remain standing for a moment of silence for all those that are suffering through the pandemic? Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you.
Hold the board to open. Trustee Johnson.
Here.
Trustee Hobbs.
Here.
Trustee Daniels.
Here.
Trustee Renfro.
Here.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
Proclamation, Hygiene Safety Awareness Month. Whereas Hygiene Safety Awareness Month raises awareness about the importance of hygiene safety. Whereas Hygiene Safety Awareness Month helps people understand the effect of germs, deadly diseases, and virus, COVID-19, corona, etc. Whereas Hygiene Safety Awareness Month educates men, women, and children of all ages that hygiene, safety, and a healthy lifestyle helps lead to a productive, happier, healthier lives. Whereas Hygiene Safety Awareness Month raises awareness, visibility, and support for practicing hygiene safety. Now therefore, Mayor Don Ryan of the Incorporated Village of Hempstead do proclaim the month of June 2020 Hygiene Safety Awareness Month to help remind everyone the importance of good hygiene and to motivate men, women, and children to pay more attention to hygiene safety during this month and all year around. Resolved that upon the recommendation of Samantha Fountain, Deputy Village Clerk, the Board of Trustees hereby waives the reading of the minutes of the regular meeting, May 19, 2020, and accept them as reviewed. Moved by Trustee Daniels, second by Trustee Adam. Deputy Mayor. Trustee Johnson.
Yes.
Trustee Hobbs.
Yes.
Trustee Daniels.
Yes.
Trustee Renfro.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
Clerk wishes to report that Mayor Ryan and Deputy Mayor Renfro have approved the miscellaneous business licenses as reviewed. Resolved that upon the recommendation of Larry Lutz, Purchasing Agent, and Bijan Farahani, Engineering Department, that bid number one furnish and deliver 10,000 pounds of granular 50 pounds bags of sodium hexametaphosphate in the Incorporated Village of Hempstead be granted an additional 1-year extension under the same terms and conditions as new bid number H1, HENV 2020-2021, in the fiscal year be awarded to the lowest bidder, Coin Chemical 3015 State Road, Crowdorne, Pennsylvania 19021, in the amount of $9,959.
Move. Second.
On the question, if I may, I believe Mike Taylor's name in 4, 5, and 6 should replace Bijan's name. I was so instructed by Patricia Perez, but it's not
Did you say
reflected.
Mike Taylor?
Yes,
Yes, okay, so that's going to be moved from Bijan to Mike Taylor.
and that applies to the next 2 resolutions as well.
Okay, so I'll move Bijan's name to Mike Taylor on item number 5 and item number 6 as well.
4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
Are there any other questions?
No? Trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Hobbs?
Yes.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Renfro?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes.
Resolved that upon the recommendation of Larry Lutz, Purchasing Agent, and Mike Taylor of the Water Plant, that bid number 2, HENV 2019-2020, furnish and deliver 40,000 gallons of sodium hydroxide liquid caustic soda 50% membrane grade in the Incorporated Village of Hempstead be granted an additional 1-year extension under the same terms and conditions as bid number 2, HENV 2020-2021, in this fiscal year be awarded to the lowest bidder, Univar USA, 3075 Highland Parkway, Suite 200, Downers Grove, Illinois, 60515, in the amount of $90,440.
So moved. Second.
Trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Hobbs?
Yes.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Renfro?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes.
Resolved that upon the recommendation of Larry Lutz, purchasing agent, and Mike Taylor, water plant, that bid number 3 HENV 2019-2020, furnish and deliver 40,000 gallons of sodium hypochlorite, 15% bleach in the Incorporated Village of Hempstead, be granted an additional 1-year extension under the same terms and conditions as of new bid number 3 HENV 2020-2021, in the fiscal year be awarded to the lowest bid, Twin County Swimming School, 797 Cochran Street, Farmingdale, New York, 11735, in the amount of $50,000.
Second.
That was moved by who, I'm sorry? Trustee Daniels, second by Trustee Hobbs. Trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Hobbs?
Yes.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Renfro?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes.
Item number 7, resolved that upon the recommendation of Frankie Germanero, Director of Public Works, that the Board of Trustees hereby approves for the sale of 25 obsolete scrap vehicles and equipment that are not worth repairing to be sold to Gershow Recycling Corporation, 71 Peconic Avenue, Medford, New York, 11763, in the amount of $14,055.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Renfro,
Second.
second by Trustee Hobbs.
Question.
Is that all we can get? Is that all we can get for these 25 obsolete scrap vehicles? Is $14,000? I'll write that question down. Which I can't get an answer to at the moment.
I mean, we asked Frank the obvious, but this was the best he could do. I don't know what the equipment looks like, the
Can you-
quantities look like.
Exactly, Mayor. Can you make sure you're speaking into the mic because we have to have the meeting
Oh, I'm sorry.
transcribed
Okay.
after it ends.
Okay.
You want me to ask the
You
question?
can say it in the microphone a little bit louder. Sorry.
The question was asked.
And then-
My question was, $14,000 for 25 vehicles, is that the best we can do?
Frank's indicated that would be the case. I have not looked at these vehicles, but apparently they must be in pretty bad repair to get that lower figure, but that's the figure that we came up with.
Has Joe Gill reviewed this list? Everybody know?
Joe Gill?
Does anybody know if Joe Gill reviewed the list?
I don't.
I can't attest to that. I just talked to Frank.
I just know for the last year and a half, we've been asking for a list of village vehicles. We still really don't have a list of village vehicles, and yet we're destroying village vehicles, but we don't know what we have. So it just seems,
May I make a suggestion, Mr. Mayor?
You have to speak up because we have to transcribe, so just make
May
sure
I
the
make a
chairman.
suggestion, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
If we could pull this number 7 until our next meeting, so we'll be able to have someone inspect and get some answers from Frankie, if the trustees agree.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's no
And-
rush.
Yeah, and also can we, when we asking, do they try to like sell some of these vehicles by auction? I'm sure you could get more individuals, if that's an option we can look at also.
We'll get Frank to respond to those requests. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor needs to withdraw his motion.
Yes. Right, Deputy Mayor?
Yes, I withdraw my motion.
Okay. Moving on to item 8, please.
Resolved that upon the recommendation of Verlene Holder, Superintendent of Tax and Water Department, that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the Village of Hempstead to enter into an agreement with Value Payment Services LLC, VPS, 2207 Crestmore Road, Suite 200, Nashville, Tennessee, to assist processing electronic payments for taxpayers commencing 2020 and 2021 tax year levy.
Hallelujah. So moved.
Trustee Hobbs moves.
Second.
Second by trustee Renfro. Trustee Johnson.
Yes.
Trustee Hobbs.
Yes.
Trustee Daniels.
Yes.
Trustee Renfro.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
Item 9, resolve that upon the recommendation of Mayor Don Ryan, that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the stipulation of agreement between the Village of Hempstead and the CSCA regarding a tentative agreement covering the period commencing June 1, 2020 through May 31st, 2021.
So moved.
It should be 21, right?
Yes. Moved by trustee Hobbs,
Second.
second by trustee Daniels. Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
trustee Hobbs,
Yes.
trustee Daniels,
Yes.
trustee Renfro,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
Resolved that upon the recommendation of Kyle Bowles, Fire Chief, that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the Village of Hempstead to schedule a public hearing on Tuesday, June 20th at 6:15 p.m. to consider entering into an agreement with the Village of Hempstead Fire Department to provide fire protection and emergency services for the Incorporated Village of Hempstead.
Deputy Clerk, it's June 16th.
June 16th.
Tuesday?
June 16th?
Yes.
Yes, but let me just ask, the board, in the event that, actually, no, so it's a public hearing, so the public
Yes.
will have to be able to attend that unless you want to
They will
approve the
be-
resolution for June 16th or the first meeting in July.
They will be able to attend,
They have to be able to
For
attend.
a public hearing,
no matter what the population is?
Right, but it is okay because it's an essential matter, so it can happen. I'm just giving you that option in case you wanted to move it to July.
Well, you know, we would definitely have to, of course, use universal precaution. No one should be able to enter in without a mask, and we just make sure we do distancing in our seats. But because it is a public hearing, the public has to have the ability to.
So leave it for June 16th?
So, I mean, that's up to the board. Maybe you want to vote on June 16th.
June 16th will be fine unless somebody has a suggestion otherwise. But let me ask you, once the public portion of that hearing closes, of this special hearing, do the people then exit and we can get
Yes.
business as usual here?
I would think so.
You can have them exit,
Okay, thank you.
but, okay,
They're gonna be thrilled about that.
then
Well,
enough.
why don't we discuss it now so we determine? The other option obviously is that they remain in the room if they so choose.
So the other option that I was giving the board was, would you feel comfortable voting on June 16th or the first meeting in July, which I don't know what that date
As
is.
long as, if we do it in the first meeting of July, long as the fire department will have access to using the money effective June 1st when it commences, you know, the $196,000.
Right, that's the only issue.
Right, okay.
I'm sure, I spoke to Joe Gill.
No, I get it, but
It has
there-
it approved.
even if the hearing is on June 16th, it's still gonna be retroactive.
Okay, so it could be retroactive,
So
but they still can use the money,
Right.
okay.
So I would suggest that this board vote on holding it on the 16th or July, and you can decide later on, because you voted to approve both dates.
Your suggestion is in the hopes that by the July date, things may have improved from a public health point of view?
Or the public may be more confident in having an in-person meeting, since after the close of the public hearing, people may want to stay for a board meeting at that point,
In July?
or whenever we have it. I think it's gonna be pretty difficult to tell people that you have to leave after the public hearing
Well,
closes.
we don't have to tell them that. This is something the trustees can factor into right now. We can make that determination. So our choices are June 16th, they leave after the public hearing, or they stay, or we move to the July date. Anybody wish to comment?
Just to let you know,
Trustee
July,
Daniels?
you only meet in the month of July and the month of August one time. Just to
Yes.
let you know that.
Trustee Daniels?
Well, why don't we set the hearing for June 23rd, have them come in here, have a public hearing, then we all move
On another date.
on another day. Why we gotta make it the same day as the meeting? We have it, that way it's just restricted to the public hearing, and then we leave.
Okay,
Should have to worry about putting them out.
We don't have to worry about putting anybody out.
okay.
We don't have to put them out anyway, if that's the desire of the
But
board.
I would prefer not to have a room full of people that we
Right.
can't
I
track.
would-
Okay. Okay, that's a good suggestion.
And then it's gonna be zoomed in
No,
No,
public hearing will be in person on June 23rd.
with all the trustees?
With everyone.
Okay,
All the trustees present,
okay.
residents present, but just one item,
What time will that hearing be?
6:15.
So you wanna change it to Tuesday the 23rd? Sharice? That would be the next day, only because I would have to put it at the weekend, I mean, the Long Island Herald?
Yes.
Okay, the 23rd. Is all trustees fine with Tuesday, June the 23rd for the public hearing only?
Well, let's vote on it.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna read it over, Sharice.
Yes, please.
Resolve that, item number 10, resolve that upon the recommendation of Kyle Bowles, Fire Chief, that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the Village of Hempstead to schedule a public hearing on Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020, at 6:15 p.m. to consider entering into an agreement with the Village of Hempstead Fire Department to provide fire protection and emergency services for the Incorporated Village of Hempstead.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Hobbs.
A second, but I have a question. So if we're out of contract with them now, what does that mean? Are they not getting coverage from us? Or
Yes. With the fire department, the new fire chiefs were just sworn in by the mayor, which you should see that attachment there. Kyle Bowles is the chief of the fire department, Chad Mott is the first assistant, Fred Sanders is the second assistant chief, and James Joyce is the third. They all got sworn in, and we normally would do it the second Tuesday of April. June 1st is their commencement of their fire department agreement for emergency services for the fire department for protection. So they can use the money because it was already allotted.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that.
No, listen, I can promise you that, protection and services are still.
Yes, it doesn't stop.
No, I'm actually,
Won't be interrupted.
no, I pressed that part. I'm saying for coverage of the actual members of the fire department.
Yes,
Is there something, like, I don't know if the village, do we, from a liability standpoint and stuff like that, do we
Yes.
indemnify them? So if we're not in contract with them,
we are. We did just did the LoSAP agreement in the month of May.
but the LoSAP is retirement.
The awards.
Right.
We indemnify the police department, right? We don't have a contract with the police department. We do have a contract with the police department.
No, they're employees.
They're employees. We have a contract with the fire department because they're volunteers.
Yes,
Does that contract say that we indemnify them? And if they're, if we are out of contract, are we leaving them open to liability when we
No,
want to cover?
the code actually says that they're.
So it's in the code, so they're fine. Right, that's my question.
Okay.
It was for their protection, not for,
Exactly.
Did you hear the answer to trustee Daniel's question?
we good.
Okay. For number, did you cast, you didn't cast the vote here, right?
No.
I'm sorry.
want to hold up with it?
No, no, go ahead.
Trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Hobbs?
Yes.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Renfro?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes.
Please do not go.
But Deputy Clerk, I'd like to, keeping in the same vein with the public hearing that we just held on number 10, I'd like to have the date for this moved to July 14th, which is the Tuesday after the board meeting,
July 14th?
if that's okay with the board.
For
July
fire
14th?
the pub, I'm still, with.
Number 11 is also
Oh, 11,
a public
okay.
hearing.
When was that?
July 14th?
That would be the Tuesday after the
So
board.
when did you originally? 7?
Oh,
7.
this was originally,
So why wouldn't we do both of this? Is there a reason that it has to be?
it could be the same time, but it'll just be in here longer.
Maybe, nobody has to do
So
it.
you want to do it for June 23rd?
I mean, that's a question to everybody. You want
Kill
both
two
parties
birds
to
with one
wait?
stone.
Yeah, we can do what you
June
do.
23rd.
June 23rd?
Okay with that.
Then people don't have to say that.
Did you put it in the paper, you want me to put it in Long Island Herald?
You won't take care of that.
Well,
So
what
what
is
time do
the-
you want to move yours to, because it's a little bit longer, the other one is at 6:15.
So this one is 6:30,
6:30?
but the other one should be quick, right?
Yes, like 5 minutes.
All right, so we're talking the 23rd day of July, 6:30.
Yes.
No.
Excuse me, June. I apologize. June.
Okay. So where do you want me to read up until Sharice? Is that the zoning? Or read the whole thing?
You're supposed to read the whole thing.
Okay. Item number 11. Resolved that upon the recommendation of Sharice Vanderhall, village attorney, to hold a public hearing to consider amending Chapter 1-11, Chapter 1-16, Chapter 11-5, Chapter 52-4, Chapter 57-19, Chapter 95-21, 95-25, 103-9, 106-15, 119-16, 123-7, 131-14, 131-36, 135-18, 139-160, 139-218 of the Code of the Incorporated Village of Hempstead. Chapter 1 entitled General Provisions, Chapter 11 entitled Living Wage, Chapter 52 entitled Building Occupancy, Chapter 57 entitled Dogs and Other Animals, Chapter 95 entitled Peace and Good Order, Chapter 103 entitled Public Assemblies, Cabarets, Chapter 106 entitled Rental Registration, Chapter 119 entitled Taxation, Chapter 123 entitled Telephones, Public Pay, Chapter 131 entitled Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 135 entitled Water, and Chapter 139 entitled Zoning. Whereas, Chapter 1-11, 1-16, 11-5, 52-4, 57-19, 95-21, 95-25, 103-9, 106-15, 119-16, 123-7, 131-14, 131-36, 135-18, 139-160, and 139-218 of the Code of the Incorporated Village of Hempstead. Chapter 1 entitled General Provisions. Chapter 11 entitled Living Wage. Chapter 52 entitled Building Occupancy. Chapter 57 entitled Dogs and Other Animals. Chapter 95 entitled Peace and Good Order. Chapter 103 entitled Public Assemblies, Cabarets. Chapter 106 entitled Rental Registration. Chapter 119 entitled Taxation. Chapter 123 entitled Telephones, Public Pay. Chapter 131 entitled Vehicles and Traffic. Chapter 135 entitled Water, and Chapter 139 entitled Zoning. Require amendments to discourage violations of the code, generate additional income from increased fines, and seek parity with other code enforcement provisions. Now therefore, the Village Board of Trustees hereby schedules a public hearing to be held on the 23rd day of June at 6:30 p.m. at the Incorporated Village of Hempstead Village Hall, 99 James A. Garner Way, Hempstead, New York, to consider amending Chapter 1-11, 1-16, 11-5, 52-4, 57-19, 95-21, 95-25, 103-9, 106-15, 119-16, 123-7, 131-14, 131-36, 135-18, 139-160, and 139-218 of the Incorporated Village of Hempstead. Chapter 1 entitled General Provisions. Chapter 11 entitled Living Wage. Chapter 52 entitled Building Occupancy. Chapter 57 entitled Dogs and Other Animals. Chapter 95 entitled Peace and Good Order. Chapter 103 entitled Public Assemblies, Cabarets. Chapter 106 entitled Rental Registration. Chapter 119 entitled Taxation. Chapter 123 entitled Telephones, Public Pay, Taxation. Chapter 123 entitled Telephones, Public Pay. Chapter 131 entitled Vehicles and Traffic. Chapter 100 Public Pay, Chapter 131 entitled Vehicles and Traffic. Chapter 135 entitled Water, and Chapter 139 entitled Zoning.
There was a mistake. I'm gonna take out a line. Can you reread it?
Which line?
A message.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Hobbs,
Second.
second by Trustee Daniels. Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Hobbs,
Yes.
Trustee Daniels,
Yes.
Trustee Renfro,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
Resolved that upon the recommendation of Frank Germanero, Director of Public Works, that the Board of Trustees hereby appoints and approves for Richard Bradley to carry over 12 vacation days past his anniversary date, May 22nd, 2020.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Hobbs,
Second.
second by Trustee
I
Johnson.
have a question.
You first.
Executive privilege. Go ahead.
Is this getting to be, is this a regular thing now? That everybody's carrying over their vacation and sick days?
Well, in all actuality, all employees should carry over their vacation days. And Sharice, you want to explain why?
And is there a limit?
Why they should carry it over?
Yeah.
They all can ask for their vacation days to be carried over before their anniversary date.
Yes.
In this case, Frankie did attach a memo that these employees weren't able to use all of their sick time because of the pandemic. And that's why he's asking that they be carried over. But the contract does allow them to carry over as long as they seek approval from the trustees before their anniversary date. And people want to carry it over because they don't want to lose the days.
By the way, what number is that?
Number 12.
Yeah, can we move to executive session to discuss this
For personnel matters?
personnel matter?
You want to hold 12, 13, and 14, and 15?
Is that just for 12, or are you looking
And
ahead to?
16.
Might as well look ahead, it's pretty repetitive.
It's through 16, 12 through 16.
12 to 16.
Okay. We have a,
So
that
that,
in form of a motion, trustee?
so, no, I think that, so trustee Hobbs should withdraw his motion?
Yes,
And then you should move to go into executive session, but you're gonna do it now or later? You move to go in after?
Whatever suits the board, whatever they think.
I think we should do it now.
Yeah, I don't think
Let's
it's
go
gonna
to again. So I withdraw my motion,
Okay,
all right,
and now,
and I make a motion that we go into executive session. So I withdraw my motion and make a
We have a second on that motion?
I have Frankie Germanero on the line.
that's,
We have a motion.
he can join in the executive
They
session.
would like for you to join into executive session, Frankie, so I'm
We have
gonna
second.
phone to-
Do we have a second on this
We have a
motion?
second.
All right.
Second, I'll second.
Okay.
Sorry.
You can take it.
If you could vote
They
on it.
wanna, they just moved,
Trustee
Trustee
second, I know that.
just moved to go into executive session and
What
trustee
item is
Daniels
that?
second. For 12 through 16.
12 through 16.
12 through 16.
Deputy Village Clerk, if you could poll the board.
Trustee Johnson, trustee Hobbs,
Yes.
trustee Daniels,
Yes.
trustee Renfro,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
You can take it with you.
If we could ask then, if just the board stays, we can turn off the,
Mike, and we'll be back. Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
trustee Hobbs,
Yes.
trustee Daniels,
Yes.
trustee Renfro,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
yes.
Item number 12, Sharice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Resolve that upon, oh, you have made a motion, trustee Hobbs and Johnson.
We was withdrawn so that we know exactly, yeah. So just read it again and we're making a.
Okay. Resolve that upon the recommendation of Frank Germanero, Director of Public Works, that the Board of Trustees hereby appoints and/or approves for Richard Bradley to carry over 12 vacation days past his anniversary date of May 22nd, 2020.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Hobbs,
Second.
second by trustee Johnson. Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
trustee Hobbs,
Yes.
trustee Daniels,
Yes.
trustee Renfro,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
Resolved that upon the recommendation of Frank Germanero, Director of Public Works, that the Board of Trustees hereby approves and/or appoints and/or hereby approves for Felipe Ventura to carry over 3 vacation days past his anniversary date, June 13, 2020.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Hobbs,
Second.
second by trustee Daniels. Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
trustee Hobbs,
Yes.
trustee Daniels,
Yes.
trustee Renfro,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
Resolved that upon the recommendation of Frank Germanero, Director of Public Works, that the Board of Trustees hereby approves for James Merchant Senior to carry over 12 vacation days past his anniversary date, May 13, 2020.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Hobbs,
Second.
second by trustee Renfro. Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
trustee Hobbs,
Yes.
trustee Daniels,
Yes.
trustee Renfro,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
Resolved that upon the recommendation of Frank Germanero, Director of Public Works, that the Board of Trustees hereby approves for Philip Adam Gondolo to carry over 5 vacation days past his anniversary date, April 6th of 2020.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Hobbs,
Second.
second by trustee Daniels.
With question. So, do these days then get carried over another year? Or they just go in the bank? They go in the bank and you don't have to keep reapproving them every year?
Anytime you have more than, depending on his years of service, it's more than 20, we still have to reapprove those over that amount. That make sense?
Got it in the bank?
So this goes, my understanding is these 5 vacation days carry over into this year, this financial year.
25.
We're number 15, right?
Number 15 is fine.
Number 15.
Oh, I thought we were 16, sorry. Okay, so,
We're number 15.
So, okay. So these 5 vacation days go into this fiscal year. If he doesn't burn all of his days, he might have days that he wants to carry over. He has to keep carrying over. It's not like these 5 go in a savings account and you enroll them again. He still has the opportunity to burn them. Does that make sense?
right.
So let's say if we carry these over and he ends up with 30 vacation days for the 2021 financial year, he doesn't burn those, then whatever's left over, he can carry into the next year.
Okay. But he has to come back here. to get the- okay.
Correct, he has to keep coming back.
Okay.
Any other questions? Trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Hobbs?
Yes.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Renfro?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes.
Resolved that upon the recommendation of Frank Germanero, Director of Public Works, that the Board of Trustees hereby approves for Michael Avendondolo to carry over 25 vacation days past his anniversary date of June 5, 2020.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Hobbs,
Second.
second by trustee Daniels. Trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Hobbs?
Yes.
Trustee Johnson. Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Renfro?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes.
You don't want the chief to come back in, just in case you have any questions?
Yeah. Yo. I'm away. Thank you, Mr. Kelly.
That 25 vacation days is an example of somebody who's likely coming back.
Yeah.
Mike Abbott.
Although he did put on his papers to retire, but we don't know if he's gonna retire.
Right.
Yeah, but, yeah. Yes, we should.
Okay, Deputy Village
Item
Clerk.
number 17, resolved that upon the recommendation of Kevin Hogan, Assistant Chief of Police, that the Board of Trustees hereby appoints and/or approves the following reinstatement of the position of Police Officer of the Incorporated Village of Hempstead, Alyssa Park, reinstatement. Police Department, Police Officer, salary $80,041, effective June 8, 2020.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Hobbs,
Second.
second by trustee Renfro. Trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Hobbs?
Yes.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Renfro?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes.
Item number 18, resolved that upon the recommendation of Kevin Hogan, Assistant Chief of Police, that the Board of Trustees hereby approves and/or appoints the following promotion for the position of Sergeant of the Incorporated Village of Hempstead. Edward Dulch, promotion, Police Department, Sergeant, salary $160,883 upon civil service approval. Moved by trustee Johnson,
Second.
second by trustee Renfro. Trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Hobbs?
Yes.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Renfro?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes.
Resolved that upon the recommendation of Assistant Chief of Police, Kevin Hogan, that the Board of Trustees hereby appoints and or approves the following promotion for the position of Sergeant of the Incorporated Village of Hempstead, Raquel Spry, approves promotion, Police Department Sergeant, salary $162,424 upon civil service approval. Moved by trustee Johnson,
Second.
second by trustee Renfro. Trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Hobbs?
Yes.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Renfro,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
Resolved that upon the recommendation of Kevin Colvin, Assistant Chief of Police, that the Board of Trustees hereby appoints and/or approves the following promotion for the position of Lieutenant of the Incorporated Village of Hempstead. Shane Wellington, promotion, Department of Police Lieutenant, salary $180,479 upon civil service approval. Moved by Trustee Johnson,
Second.
second by Trustee Hobbs. Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Hobbs,
Yes.
Trustee Daniels,
Yes.
Trustee Renfro,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
Resolved that upon the recommendation of Kevin Colvin, Assistant Chief of Police, that the Board of Trustees hereby appoints and/or approves the following promotion for the position of Lieutenant of the Incorporated Village of Hempstead. Stephanie Jones, promotion. Police Lieutenant, salary $179,118 upon civil service approval.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Renfro,
Second.
second by Trustee Hobbs. Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Hobbs.
Yes.
Trustee Daniels,
Yes.
Trustee Renfro,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
It was, we thought there was going to be two addendums, it's not. That's one addendum that's attached, it's,
Before we move forward, I have one question for the chief. Yes. These are leaving vacant spots where he's also being promoted? Is that-
These 4 spots were filled the vacancies of Lieutenant Quattrapani and Lieutenant Robinson, who retired. So we need 2 lieutenants to replace them and 2 sergeants to replace the 2 lieutenants who moved up.
So who replaced the people that you're moving up? You don't need.
Police officers?
yeah.
No, we're hiring more police officers as well. We interviewed somebody today. We have interviews scheduled for every day this week.
Okay.
Read all of this? Read all of the addendum?
For which one?
It's
Oh,
only one
There's
addendum,
only one addendum.
sorry. You just, oh, geez.
or just the first paragraph.
It is the resolution, so,
You the whole thing?
yes.
Okay. Addendum item number 1. Resolved that upon the
Just, sorry to interrupt, but shouldn't it begin upon the recommendation of?
Yes, I have it on mine for Trustee Daniels.
I don't see
You don't have
that.
that one? I have it on mine, I'm sorry, you should have a copy. That's another one that Patty had made, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Resolved that upon the recommendation of Trustee Jeffrey Daniels to approve the tax exemption from real property taxes and payment agreement pursuant to private housing finance law 5771A for an affordable housing project being undertaken Development Corporation of Long Island or an affiliate and Commonplace Housing Development Fund Company Incorporated. Whereas Community Development Corporation of Long Island has sponsored the formation of Commonplace Housing Development Fund Company Incorporated, a housing development fund company organized pursuant to Article 11 of the Private Housing Finance Law, PHFL, and whereas the HDFC is or will become the legal or record owner as nominee of Commonplace LLC, a limited liability company. The company formed by Conifer LLC or affiliate and Community Development Corporation of Long Island or affiliate, and the company is or will become the beneficial or equitable owner of certain real property located at Main Street and Bedell Street, Village of Hempstead, County of Nassau, New York, having tax map number section 34, block 195, lots 8, 9, 10, 111, 116, 129-132, 138, collectively the property, and whereas the HDFC has been formed for the purpose of providing affordable residential rental accommodations for individuals and families having household incomes less than and equal to various levels of area median income for Nassau, Suffolk, FMR area adjusted for family size A and I as set forth herein, and whereas the company with assistance from the HDFC will develop, own, construct, maintain, and operate a housing project at the property with 22,264 square feet of ancillary street-level commercial space to be known as Commonplace Project, which will consist of 228 residential units, 100% of which will have rents regulated through a regulatory agreement to accommodate individuals and families having household incomes as follows. Of the 228 units, 21 units will have income restrictions of 30% AMI, 46 units will have income restrictions of 50% of AMI, 121 units will have income restrictions at 60% of AMI, 28 units will have income restrictions at 80% AMI, 11 units will have income restrictions at 90% of AMI, and 1 unit will be reserved for site employees, most likely a superintendent, to gather the project. And whereas, in financing the project, the HDFC and the company will enter into a regulatory agreement as required by New York State Housing Finance Agency, HFA, the regulatory agreement. The regulatory agreement will require 100% of the revenue generating residential units to be rented at the regulated rents as set forth above. Whereas the HDFC's and the company's plan for the use of the property constitute a housing project as that term is defined in the PHFL. And whereas the HDFC is a housing development fund company as the term is defined in section 572 of the PHFL, and whereas pursuant to chapter 577 of the PHFL, the local legislative body of a municipality may exempt the real property of a housing project of a housing development fund company from local and municipal taxes, including school taxes, other than assessments for the local improvements, to the extent of all or part of the value of the property included in the completed project. And whereas there is a great need for high-quality, affordable housing in the village of Hempstead, the village, and just as important, job-producing commercial businesses in the downtown. The project will provide brand-new state-of-the-art facilities, directly meeting both those needs. However, the project will require the village's assistance to be financially feasible, and without an exemption, the project will not be developed. Whereas the village is willing to grant an exemption pursuant to Chapter 577 of the PHFL. However, it will require that certain annual payments be made to the village as well as the other affected taxing jurisdictions at a level that is sustainable for the economic feasibility of the project during the exemption term. Whereas to memorialize said exemption and effectuate said schedule of the annual payments, the village is serious of entering into an exemption and payment agreement in the form attached hereto. And whereas it is anticipated that the Nassau County will likewise exempt the property and enter into a corresponding exemption in a payment agreement of substantially the same terms as set forth in said exemption and payment agreement. Now therefore be it resolved that the village of Hempstead hereby grants an exemption from local and municipal village taxes to the property and project pursuant to PHFL Chapter 577, 1A and 2A for a period to start upon issuance of building permit and then to run for a 3-year construction period, and thereafter for 30 years commencing on the date of the issuance of the certificate of occupancy, CO, or temporary certificate of occupancy, TCO, provided such CO or TCO is issued no later than 3 years after the issuance of building permit for the project by the village, subject to the following conditions. 1. The HDFC is formed pursuant to the provisions of Article 11 of the PHFL to participate in the construction and operation of the project, qualifies as a housing development fund company as defined therein. 2. The HDFC and the project at all times throughout the exemption period qualifies the exemption from taxation pursuant to Article 11 of the PHFL, including Chapter 577, 1A, and 3. The deed conveying title into HDFC and thereafter remains in compliance with same with no default of termination of said regulatory agreement. 6. The HDFC enters into the exemption and payment agreement and thereafter remains in compliance with the same with no default or termination of said exemption and payment agreement. It is further resolved that the village and the HDFC and/or company shall execute an exemption payment agreement substantially in the form attached hereto, but subject to change based on the actual payment terms of the exemption and payment agreement approved by Nassau County. The amount of payment to be allocated proportionately among the affected tax jurisdictions cannot be less than the provided in the attached form, but may be more if the Nassau County approval dictates a higher amount. It is further resolved that the mayor or such other designee of the Village Board of Trustees is authorized on behalf of the village to do all things necessary, convenient, or appropriate for accomplishment of this resolution. It is further resolved that to achieve the project goals, Conifer has committed to the following. Bullet point 1, provide residency preference for current residents of the Village of Hempstead, subject to approval by NYSHCR and HUD. Bullet point 2, participation in the Enterprise Green Program for Sustainable Construction. Bullet 3, commitment to hire local construction workforce and MBE/WBE participation as per the Community Benefits Agreement, CBA for the Hempstead project. Bullet 4, compliance with other stated items in the Community Benefits Agreement. Through various funding mechanisms established in the Community Benefits Agreement, Conifer will provide the following to the Village of Hempstead. These commitments have been memorialized in more detail in various legal documents that the village is party to. Bullet point 1, fair share mitigation fees for infrastructure, $1,500,000. Bullet 2, community benefits fees, $438,000. Bullet point 3, originally committed share of water sewer study through RDUA, $28,800. Bullet point 4, cost to update the water sewer study, $25,000. Bullet point 5, village water tap fees estimated, $320,000. Bullet 6, village building permit fees estimated, $150,000. Bullet point 7, village inspection fees estimated, $191,000. Total fees to be paid to the village, $2,652,800. Moved by trustee Daniels,
Second.
second by trustee Hobbs.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions real quickly. I noticed in the tax exemption payment agreement, paragraph 5, when I read it, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems inconsistent with the 4th paragraph on the first page of the resolution. I don't find that comfortable.
Mayor?
Paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the tax exemption payment agreement. The numbers indicated don't seem consistent with paragraph 4 of the first page of the resolution. I don't find that comfortable.
Yes, it looks like there are typos in it.
Could be a typo.
It could be, but I don't know which one is supposed to be the correct.
It raises an issue.
What's inconsistent?
It says 228 units, 100% of which will have rents regulated to accommodate individuals and families having household incomes as follows. So in the resolution, it says 21 units at 30% of the AMI. In the agreement, it says 8 units at 50% of the AMI. Then in the resolution, it says 46 units at 50% of the AMI. And then in the agreement, it says 190 units at 60% of the AMI. Then in the resolution, it says 28 units at 80% of the AMI. And then in the agreement, it says 28 units at 90% of the AMI. And the resolution has 11 more units left at 90% of the AMI. So it's just, somehow they just didn't transpose whichever paragraph is supposed to be correct into both the resolution and the agreement.
Well, clearly here, the tax agreement, if there is some consideration, what we're voting on is not the tax agreement, we're voting on the resolution.
Right, but the resolution says, one of the resolve clauses is that you're gonna execute the tax agreement. And it said it is further resolved that the village and the HDFC shall execute an exemption and payment agreement substantially in the form of tax year 2.
Clearly, that can be amended.
Yeah.
Could be amended for consistency's sake.
There's also a question, paragraph 2 of the resolution they indicate the land, but I don't believe all the land has yet been transferred, has it,
No, they're under contract.
on the contract? Okay, and also, on the last page of the resolution where they indicate the bullet points, fair share mitigation all the way down, the village water, village building permit, village inspections, they're not actually technically benefits, they're actually fees. And fair share
It doesn't
mitigation.
say that.
Can you
Benefits, it
speak
says
up,
fees
Mayor,
to be
into
paid
the
to
mic?
I'm saying that thank you. I'm saying the village water tap fees as opposed to benefits, village building permit or fees as opposed to benefits, village inspection or fees rather than benefits. As to the fair share mitigation fee for infrastructure, $1,500,000. Is that a one-time payment?
So fair share mitigation, that's one-time payment.
One time, thank you.
Chief? Yes. Can you turn it on? You want to turn it on?
Yes,
Yeah,
the police
turn it on.
department. Yeah.
You can do that.
What is it in the back?
Calls
No,
it,
it's
calls
in the
it.
police
It's
department.
in the police department.
They're responsible for the, care.
It's not there. That's the elected.
All right, I would yield if somebody else has any questions.
Is this something that has to be voted on tonight? Is there any way we can get these changes and bring it back?
Sure.
So can we pull this? And bring it back with the proper corrections?
Sure.
So you will withdraw your motion?
Trustee Daniels?
Withdraw the motion to bring it back at a later time to make sure that there's consistency between the tax exemption and payment agreement as well as the resolution. And probably an abbreviated resolution for the sake of,
Thank you.
So you'll send it back to us?
yes,
Okay.
yes, this we resubmit. All right.
Okay, so addendum number 1 was pulled, and now we're gonna go to number 22. Resolve that upon the recommendation of Joe Bills of the treasurer, that all meeting bills ordered by the board of trustees of check warrant dated June 6, 2020 be approved as previously reviewed.
So move.
Second.
It's not June 6th, I'm sorry, it's June 2nd. Moved by trustee Hobbs, second by trustee Daniels. Trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Hobbs?
Yes.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Renfro?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes.
Meeting is closed.
Not
And
yet.
the motion-
No, we have to move.
We have to move.
We have to make a motion.
Okay,
And trustee Johnson's probably gonna check, but I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Did we ever move?
I second.
Executive session.
yeah, you did. Trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Johnson moves, second.
Yes.
Trustee Hobbs, trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Hobbs?
Yes.
Trustee Daniels?
Yes.
Trustee Renfro?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.